Hey, everybody, I'm Louis Amestoy, the host of the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield Californian. We are here live in the studios of the Bakersfield Californian downtown at the historic headquarters of the California at 1707 I Street. Joining me here on the show today, the one, the only Grumpy Griff, Mike Griffith.
And amazing that we're on the air, I think, right now.
It is amazing that we're on the air. We've got things going on all over the place here, and it's an exciting time. We just got through a great weekend of racing at all three tracks. Unbelievable action at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, at Bakersfield Speedway, at Kern County Raceway Park. In our next segment, we're going to talk to Blake Bowser about the ANRA season opener. It was huge. They had a huge car count. Great racing. A lot of local drivers that were in there. In fact, I think Austin Fry, who won NE3, is going to be our driver of the week in the fan vote. We'll talk more about that. Then we'll follow up with Steve Hughes. He's got a guest. We'll talk a little motocross action, but they had a big weekend there with the Southwest Tour there, the SRL series race there with Derek Thorne and David Mayhew putting on a show for about 10 laps before Derek Thorne got ahead of things and won it.
Yeah.
We also have Bakersfield Speedway. Now, Scott Schweitzer is celebrating an anniversary this week, and so he's not going to be here. But we're going to have Steve Lynch on the phone.
Where's Scott's priorities? Come on.
I know. Where's the loyalty?
Where is the loyalty?
Where are the priorities, and where's the love? But you know what? It's love. It's all about love. By the way, this show is brought to you by the Bakersfield California. We've been covering it since the beginning. Griffith's been covering it since 1978. This is show number 9. I think that's right. Show number 9. And I made a new graphic, by the way, for our Facebook. This I love this picture, not because I took it, but just because it showed the intensity of the battle between David Mayhew and Derek Thorne on Saturday night.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. You could see right away when that race started, those guys, everybody wanted to get up front and get out, ahead of the competition because it is difficult to pass there at times because the cars are so close. And these two ran side by side for about 4 laps before Thorne finally got a full car length ahead, and after that he was just the class of the field.
Absolutely. And but you can follow us on Facebook at Bako Motorsports Power Hour. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bako Motorsports, and give us a shout out on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We have all the videos there as well. I think we're starting to rebuild we're still rebuilding the YouTube channel from the August of last year disaster, but we have more than 100 videos. I think we posted 135 videos since the first of the year between Facebook and YouTube. So a lot of content on there, a lot of great stuff here. You can listen to Blake Bowser talk to us about drag racing. You can listen to him talk about clutches and things like that. There was a few guys out there testing clutches. I think Dan Horan was out at Famoso testing clutches on the funny cars. But we'll talk about that here in the next segment. Let's keep going. Let's get to our first bit of business. Bristol was stormy, but Matt Kenseth survived it and won it. Did you get a chance to watch this race? It took like 14 hours.
A good part of the last half.
Yeah.
The race from about lap 264 on.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a race that started early, then quit, and it rained and rained and rained, and they got it going again. And then it rained to end it.
It rained, yeah.
Which probably averted some more big crashes in a green-white checkered finish. So the rain falling was a good thing.
Kevin Harvick got the win in this race, or Kevin Harvick didn't get the win. He was leading this race for a long part of it. Got in a crash late. Kenseth got the win, and but I definitely can say that I am a fan of Bristol now after seeing this. Now hold that slide there for a second here. Here's Matt Kenseth with the win. Now, Mike, can you see in the back of him right there? There's a box of food back there.
He's a hungry driver.
I mean, okay, let's zoom in on this a little bit. Chris, go to the next slide. So, all right. So is this what you win if you win at Bristol, the Food City 500?
I think more of a prop.
Stuffing Classics. There's some kind of toaster thing in the back.
Toaster, something.
And there's mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
In a box.
And we don't want to talk about boxed mashed potatoes. How lazy do you have to be? Rather, you can't cut up some mashed potatoes, put them in water, boil it, and smash them yourself. Really?
I can't think of the last time I had boxed mashed potatoes, but
no,
there you are.
That is the height of laziness.
There you go. All right, so that was NASCAR with Harvick. Mears didn't have a very good day either. He also had an accident. But Harvick finished up with his trip to Washington, D.C., probably much to the shock and horror of many of his fans. President Obama greeted him, and Obama actually talked about his work in Bakersfield and how important it was that he's a man of charity, and mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, specifically the work that they just announced they're going to be doing here on Niles. But there it is, in the 4-car showing up at the White House. So big honor for Kevin Harvick.
champion always gets to go to the White House, and when the president calls, you go.
There you go, yeah. And Harvick finished 38th at Bristol. He's still number 1 in the Sprint Cup standings. And we'll take a look at how Casey Mears finished. He finished just ahead of Harvick, but I think he had an accident late. 36th at Bristol, 19th in the Sprint Cup standings. So he's now out of the top 15. He's got to do some work to get back in that chase.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough haul for him. Best bet, try to win a restrictor plate race.
Okay. Moving on. Next slide, please. And Toyota Owners 400 in Richmond this weekend. Harvick, I think, won this race, or I think he won the Xfinity race there. But this is going to be another interesting one, and they're busy.
Another short track, so you've got like that Richmond, and so it should be a lot of action on that track.
In the Xfinity Series, Ryan Reed, he finished 24th at Bristol, 5th in the Xfinity standings still. If you go to this next slide, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, 16th, 15th, 13th, 10th, 15th, 24th. So he's had his challenges.
He said that it's his problem at Bristol. He's not comfortable on the track, hasn't learned to drive it well, said he had a great car. He just needs to get better at Bristol. So kudos for him for saying, hey, it's me at Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on. And there it is. You talked about the scenery of Long Beach and Long Beach Grand Prix while they were in rain delay at Bristol. There you go.
There you go. And I watched 18 laps of that race. I did not watch. Well, it's taped. I haven't watched the finish of it. And it was
not that exciting.
Not that exciting for me. And maybe I'll watch the rest of it. I watched the F1 race. I recorded that earlier.
But Lewis Hamilton always wins.
Well, yeah, but the F1 cars are just. They look, well, they're funny looking too, but they're fast.
They're fast.
They're fast. They are really fast, and it's kind of amazing how fast those top four, the Mercedes and the Ferraris are. I love Long Beach. I love the sights, the street course. It's not the greatest racing, but I just kind of like the atmosphere of Long Beach.
Big crowds, and I was following it on social media all weekend. It was incredible to see the results there. One of the things we've been doing on the Power Hour here, this is an interesting discussion, folks. We had some interesting developments in our fan voting over the weekend. Now, we've been picking winners basically for the last 3 or 4 times we've done this. But this weekend, we had a strong write-in vote for a young man named Michael. Is it Michael Johnson?
Nicholas.
Nicholas Johnson, right. Nicholas Johnson finished second in the American Stocks race. I took it out because he didn't have a win, and I didn't think it would be right to give him but he had like 3,000 votes, write-in candidate there.
Yeah, before you banished him, so it might have been
he might have been the winner.
He might have been the stealth winner, the underdog win, but. Yeah, maybe it ought to be.
I don't know if we should have a policy for that. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe it ought to be winners. Although you can have quite a driver of the week. I've seen people start at the back and come through and finish second or something.
Yeah, do a lot. I mean, what's amazing about Thorne is that he was stuck in the middle of the invert, right? And so he had to pass a lot of people to get up there.
Said, he was like 7th or 8th, and that's, as he said, that's typical for him. And that's the same thing on the short track. There's inverts. I'm not sure where the guys started these American stock races, but. Steve Lynch, who covered it for us Saturday night, is supposed to call in, and he said it was a pretty good race. So
I talked to Tom Mock yesterday. Of course, we can't repeat any of it, but he said it was a really good race too. And that Nicholas, we'll be hearing more from this young man. I think he's only 13, 14. So I guess our unwritten rule was that you have to win in order to be nominated for the driver of the week. I don't know.
We've been putting down winners, so.
I've been putting down winners, but it's worth the conversation because let's say that somebody goes, I don't know, to Boone, right, and finishes in the top 5, or they go back. Let's say we have a driver from here that goes and wins or finishes second in a race, like in Boise, where Blake Bowser spends a lot of his time. Is that worthy of nomination? Those are things we're going to have to talk about, I guess.
Yeah,
at some point.
Hey, write-in candidate is pretty good. There's a lot of people with a lot of free time on their hand to vote repeatedly.
The writing candidate is like cut and paste. So
somebody had a lot of time.
All right, well, I'm going to jump out. I got to go run for a little bit, but we're going to have Blake Bowser here. Mike Griffith will move over to the hosting chair here, and we'll be right back after these messages here on the what is this show again? The Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield Californian. We'll be right back.